Well, welcome to Modeling Time with me, Brian Banna. In the last episode, we talked about the trucks and got the truck started. We cut the journal boxes off, and I was getting ready to put the journal caps on, and then something happened. So I don't want to go into it here. Let me move the camera over, and we'll talk about it on the desk looking at what I'm going to do. I think it's a good thing. It does cause the project to be a little bit longer. Everything more that you do to a project causes the finishing time to move out a little bit. So this one caused it to move out by maybe a half a day. It's not that much, but still it's something else that is done and causes the project to get bigger. So let me move the camera over and we'll discuss what I am doing now. All right, so these are the journal caps. I was getting ready to look at these trucks and tell me if you can see what I'm doing to them. Well, okay, let's move on. Anyway, so these are the journal caps. I've got them on double-sided tape so that I can grit blast them. I only need to grit blast the mounting surface so that the CA will have something to bite to. So that's taken care of. I need to grit blast the side frames. Go do that. I need to grit blast the clips that hold the pickup strips onto the side frame, so because those are going to get painted. And of course I need to grit blast the side frames because I need the surface area of where the journal boxes to be roughed up so that I can excuse me, so I can glue onto those. But I think you noticed these right here. Yes, brake cylinders. When I was getting ready to take these over to grit blasting them, I was looking at them like, I really got to do something about those brake cylinders. So I started looking at it. Let me zoom in a little bit. I started taking a closer look at it and to see what could be done about it. Excuse me. And my concerns, I had two concerns. Let me put my OptiVisors on so I can see while I'm explaining. You can see I've already taken the brake cylinders off of here, and this truck is all done. The brake cylinders are off. My concern was this detail right here, this little circular boss or whatever it is, casting hole. Would I be able to take the brake cylinders off without nicking that? And I seem to have been able to do that on these. My next concern was how was this area going to look? Because this side of the frame is similar to this side of the frame, but I don't have anything to make that like that. So I said, well, screw it. I'll just go ahead and cut it and see how it turns out. Well, cutting this out and everything and making this platform up here for the brake cylinders, when you put the brake cylinder on, all of this is hidden behind the brake cylinder. So it really doesn't matter. See, let me show you. Let me get one that goes on that side. There we go. So if I put that in there, well, no, not that one. That one's not modified. There we go. That's the wrong one. Gotta find the right one. There we go. I'll show you why I was looking for the right one in a second. So if I put this in here, you'll notice that all that ugliness back there is all hidden away. And once this is all painted, detailed and everything, you won't even notice that that was cut out. Now you will because you watched the video and it's being highlighted here. But for somebody who doesn't know, they'll never know that this was cut out and stuff unless they know that these models had molded on brake cylinders. So let me explain to you something here too, if you choose to do something like this. I'm using Athearn SD40-2 brake cylinders. And I bought a bunch of these when I went back when Athearn was selling these parts and stuff. So these are not universal as the, I'm sorry, not Atlas, Athearn. Did I say Atlas? Athearn. It's Athearn. Let me repeat that. Athearn SD40-2 brake cylinders. Now, these are not universal as the Athearn Chinese assemblers would like to make you believe. They only go in a specific position, and I'll show you why if you can see this. If you look at the end, well, there's two things to show you. Let me see. Can this stay in focus? Okay, if you look at the end, let me bring this down here. You'll see this has a little bit of a gull wing appearance to it. That's the downside. If you put this upside down, it's not going to fit in the location probably, and that's true on the Athearn SD40-2. If you put this upside down, the brake cylinder is going to be cocked at an angle. So you want the gull arm to be down, the flat portion, the flat portion of the gull arm to be down, and the top portion, gull arms up and then back. Now there's another way of noting what's the downside. There's two things. Let me find one that hasn't been cleaned up. Here we go. Yeah. On the bottom of the brake cylinder, there's a push pin mark, a mold ejection mark, which needs to be cleaned up. Also, on the bottom of the cylinder, which makes Athearn have some really nice brake cylinders. Actually, their newest version of the brake cylinder is the absolute best looking brake cylinder on the market. The one that they started using on like the SDP45, that's a beautiful brake cylinder. I wish they would sell those separately. Anyway, so you got the push pin mark that locates the bottom of the cylinder. You also have this moisture drain piece right here that sticks off the face of the cover plate. That's always on the bottom. So that denotes the bottom of the cylinder. Now I need to clean these up before I mount them on the model, but that is a little bit of information on how you denote the bottom of the Athearn 40-2 brake cylinders. Okay, so I left this one in place so we can set up over at the mill, and I can show you how I cut it off. The reason I'm showing some of the milling is because I've had a couple, maybe 2 or 3 people ask me if I could show the milling during the modeling, because it's part of the process and it helps them understand, maybe if they have a mill, it'll help them understand the process on what I go through to cut this off and stuff like that. Now, the mill's going to make noise, so I can't really talk during it, so let me go through some things here real quick. Let me get some more light on this subject. See if I can get this in focus. There we go. Okay, so when I mill this, the first task, where's my pointer? Where'd you guys put my pointer? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Okay, the first task is to cut, here we go, is to cut this brake cylinder down to the same level as you see this molded on detail right here above the springs. So that'll come off. Now, the portion, you see this detail right here where the brake cylinder cap fits onto the cylinder? That portion is at the same level as this part of the frame. So after I cut this all down to this surface, then I'll take the milling bit and just barely touch this part of the frame and then cut this off up to here. Then I'll raise the bit, I'll bring it over here, and now I need to cut this off to the same surface as this portion right here where this round detail is sitting. That's the plate or the portion that the brake cylinder sits on. So I'll barely touch this corner, and then I'll come over here and cut this off without cutting that and without cutting that detail. Then I'll turn the brake cylinder or turn the side frame around, and I will trim this area right here equal to that surface and back to the top of that there. Then I'll take the milling bit and I'll skim this off down to the top of the top of the side frame. Now, if you see me making quick back and forth movements like this with the milling bit, that's because I'm gradually lowering it, like maybe 100 thousandths or more or less at a time, just to get to the surface of these areas in here and here and here. So that's what's taking place when you see that quick movement back and forth. So I will put this into the fixture, same fixture that I used to cut the journal faces off, and we'll go set up at the mill and we'll get this last brake cylinder cut off. Okay, so I've got everything set up here. I need to cut that brake cylinder off. I'm using a 1/16 milling bit, and I'm going to be running it at the highest speed on my mill. I probably could run it at half speed, but I do it at the highest speed to lessen the chance of it possibly catching something and tearing it and stuff like that, because Delrin can be quite brittle at times. This stuff really isn't, but running it at the highest speed works well for me. So I'm going to turn the mill on, and we'll get to cutting this off. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so that takes care of getting this surface and this surface done. Now I need to do the top surfaces, so I need to take this out and turn it around. So now I'll be working on this side right here. Here we go. And that takes care of the milling portion of it. Now I'll take it back to the bench and we'll get the hole drilled. Clean up and get the hole drilled. Well, back at the bench, now it's time to clean this up. So, I gotta just get in here, take this off, and just get in here, and just take some of the slough off of there. I call it slough. That's my friend Tony Sissons called it, and I kind of like that word, slough. You see me stop working, it's because I'm just checking the camera to make sure everything's on camera. I should probably put a piece of tape down on the on the surface so that as long as I'm on that, you know, when you go to the dentist and you get a new toothbrush every time, that's where I get all these toothbrushes from. I have about a dozen of them. All right, now. Okay, now this portion that I cut right here is squared off. So I'm going to blend it with this slight radius here. So first I'm going to get the ridge cut at a slight angle. Then I'm just going to scrape and rotate the part. And that takes care of that. All right, now it's time to drill the hole. So on all of these, I did 59 thousandths to get the brake cylinder in the right spot. From this shelf right here up, I go 59 thousandths. So I put that on my caliper. I use the point ends, and I just drag it across, and it leaves a little bit of a scribe line. Now to know how far in from this edge here, I come in 140 thousandths. Put my calipers at 140 thousandths. Where am I? Here we go. From that edge, and I just make a little bit of a mark. Just like that. Then take a scriber and put the start of the hole right there. Then, oh man, this pin vise is a pain in the butt to get the barrel spinned off. Oh, it's getting worse. I gotta do something about this thing. Can't get it off. Can't get the... Man, this one's rough. I'm gonna have to put this in a vise. This part of the barrel on the pin vise is really tight, and if I accidentally leave the drill bit in it, it seems to tighten up even more. Sorry about this, guys. I just got to get this stupid barrel loosened up. It's spinning in the vise even. There we go. Got it done. Whew. That sucker was tight. Okay. So now, there we go. Now I got to drill that out. So you can start with any size drill bit you want. I'm starting with a 25 thousandths. Wow, it's getting worse. After this, I got to do something about that. So, I'm just going to drill that hole in. Then I go up to a 46 thousandths. Like I said, you can start out and use whatever you want as long as you end up at about 60 thousandths. I end up at 59 thousandths. I didn't tighten that enough. If I over tighten it, it's really hard to get it out. See what I mean? I can't get it off again. Gotta put it in the vise again and get it off. Gosh dang. I tried oiling it and that didn't help. won't come off. The hell? There we go. Oh, it's destroying the... Now this pin vise is dead. Look at that. Just that little, it broke off one of the... parts that holds the... Alright, I gotta turn this off so I can get this drill bit out. Alright, well I don't have a pin vise that'll hold these properly, so I'm just gonna have to wing it with these small ones. So it'll only go in a little bit, so just stick it in there as far as it'll go, tighten it down. Where's the hole I was working on? There it is. And get that drilled out. Like I said, this is a 50-something thousandths drill bit. I don't know, I just pulled it out. It's smaller than what I needed. Take that one out, and this one is a 58 or 59, I can't remember, but it's the right size. Put that in there, and then I wiggle it and cut side to side a little bit to make the hole a little bit bigger, so I have some play room in there. And now, let's see, is that the right one? No, that means that's the right one. What the hell? Can't I get these things right? This has to be there. Yeah, that's the right one there. So then that lines up perfectly with that. Oh no, that's upside down. That's the wrong one. Okay. That side. I think I got these all turned around. Here we go. Can't believe I got that confused on these. And there it is. I think that looks much better than what was there. So I am going to clean these things up. These are pretty tight, so I'm going to clean them up so that they fit in better and there's no parting lines on anything. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of this video. To recap what I did, not much to recap. I cut the molded on brake cylinders off and drilled them out to put the Athearn SD40-2 brake cylinders in there. So what I'm going to do now, and I don't think you want to watch me cleaning up mold parting lines, it's just scraping them and cleaning up the surfaces so that you don't see any marks and things like that, cutting off the ejection pin marks and cleaning those up and things like that. Then drilling out the ends so that we can put our Atlas brake plumbing in. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. I'll get the brake cylinders mounted on the sides of the frames, and I will get the everything grit blasted, and then we can assemble the frames and get them ready for paint. So I hope you got something out of that. I hope you enjoyed that. And it was crazy with that pin vise. I can't believe that thing galled up like that. But I'm going to have to get me a new one. That's the only one that fits the intermediate size drill bits, like the upper 40 thousandths, 50s, 60s, and 70 thousandths. And so I need a new pin vise. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that was useful for you and entertaining and enjoyable to watch. So thanks again. I'll catch you next time.